What's up, guys? Nick from Hybrid Physiques IFBB Pro, here to do a review of the 2019 Romania Musclefest Pro. And what do I have to say about this outing? This was all Cedric McMillan. Now, typically, I don't like to go by the judges' scorecards, as I normally heavily disagree with them. However, in this circumstance, it looks like they got it right. Cedric McMillan in first place, Juan Morel in second place, Regan Grimes in third place, Max Charles in fourth place. The separation from first and second place were drastic. We had Cedric McMillan scoring a total of points of 6, while Juan Morel scored a total of 15. That is drastic. And why is that? Well, as I said before, if Cedric McMillan comes in shape, he is darn near unbeatable. Did he come in shape? Absolutely. Did he come in super peeled like we like to see him for an Olympia championship? No. However, the progression has been treading in the right place for Cedric. He's getting tighter and better by the show. He explained before that he has some mental issues as far as anxiety, obviously increasing cortisol and retaining water. It looks like he's getting that under control. Maybe he's getting more confident and not too concerned about going into these shows. Juan Morel, also, great package by Juan. Very pleased with what he brought. I made a video specifically on Juan probably about a month ago, maybe a month and a half, on he needs to do something drastic to change. And he did it. You know, it's very nice to see. Juan is a nice, hardworking guy. Goes to gym, gets it out, stays out of drama, eats the food, does the workouts, works out hard. And I'm very happy to see that he's getting it done now. How will Juan stack up against tougher competition? I'm not sure. This is a great example here against Cedric. You know, he just doesn't have the genetic structure or the shape and honestly the leg size to beat someone like Cedric. What I would like to see Juan do is actually qualify for the Olympia, take some time off so he can actually focus on building up those legs a little more, focus on improving the physique rather than just staying in a dieted down mode. Now, Regan Grimes, the much anticipated return to bodybuilding. What do we have to say about Regan? I personally believe he was a little exposed at this show. What do I mean by that? Now, was Regan peeled? No. His conditioning was certainly off. With that being said, size-wise, aesthetics-wise, when you stand Regan next to someone like Cedric McMillan, that aesthetics conversation is just about over, in my opinion. Cedric blows him out of the water. It's no comparison. And Regan is somebody who is known as a young aesthetic bodybuilder. With that being said, Regan is young. He can certainly bring up that physique, bring up that wow factor. But today, what we saw was a Regan that wasn't in the best condition, and you had a Juan Morel who was in excellent condition, especially for Juan. And what do we see? We see Juan, stealing that second place position from Regan. And it was well justified. Any other given day, I mean, if Regan comes in super peeled, I think he'll probably edge Juan out depending on the size and, how much muscle he retains with taking off that extra fat and or water going into the show. Let's go ahead and compare some still shots here. I always like to display the videos because you get a good idea of the conditioning in the videos versus the photos. You get a real grip of who's actually shredded, who's peeled, and who's not. So let's go ahead and transition to some still shots. So up first, we have a rear lat spread. Cedric McMillan busting the brakes off the competition in this shot. It's not even close. Cedric all day. Regan looking soft in the glutes in this shot. However, the back, nice structure, nice back width. If you compare him to someone like Juan and even Cedric, you can see in the lower back how you have a couple inches of meat coming off his spine. That's back width. Looks phenomenal. Max Charles, just thin in the back, doesn't have the greatest structure for a rear lat spread. The placing here is right on the money with what we're seeing on the images with Cedric first, Juan second, Regan third, Max fourth. Front lat spread, again, Cedric McMillan just blasting the brakes off the competition. It's not even close. It's just a lights out front lat spread for Cedric. Juan Diesel against Regan. It could go either way for me, specifically because Juan's legs are undersized from the front, while Regan does have a nice full quad. However, Juan's conditioning is significantly better than Regan's. Max Charles, I have a tough time kind of seeing his shape on here, but Max's legs are undersized as well. His conditioning wasn't on point for the show. However, it was still good enough to put him in that fourth position. Transitioning into the next shot, we have a ab and thigh. For the shot specifically, I exactly as the places go. Cedric is just too aesthetic to compete in this position. Everyone's kind of trailing significantly behind him. Regan looks great. Nice wide base pulling off the vacuum. Juan looks great as well. Nice lat taper, nice lat width in this shot. Max Charles, he's on the tail end of this top four. It's kind of been, the repeating story here among all the positions. There's not too much controversy among the placings with what we saw here. Now, side chest, again, you're going to hear me say this over and over. Cedric blows the water out of everyone. Looking at him compared to Regan does look really aesthetic in this shot. However, if you look at the arms, they're significantly smaller than Cedric's. If you look at the chest, it's significantly less dense than Cedric's. If you look at the width, they're close to even. However, Regan doesn't have that 3D factor that Cedric has. I like Juan in the side chest. He hits that kind of extended arm out. Juan is freaky from the side. Big, thick chest, big shoulders. Onto the front double bicep. Again, Cedric. All day. Every shot. The entire show, Cedric McMillan just smokes everyone. He's just too darn aesthetic. I said it before. If you're competing against Cedric and Cedric is on, you better have better conditioning against him. Otherwise, it's just game over. You don't have a chance. That's exactly what we saw here. Cedric brought the conditioning well enough to be in that top position. Not super peeled, but again, really, really good for Cedric. I'm really, really happy to see his positioning and his overall physique in this show. I want to quickly brief over this shot. I like this because it displays the conditioning of Juan Morel and why he got that second place position. Juan was peeled. Look at the glutes. Look at the hamstrings. Comparing directly to Regan, you can see Regan's glutes are they're just about peeking their way through, but they're not there. Juan really brought the conditioning in this show. This is a little skewed because Cedric in his side shots like this, I think he has trouble contracting his glute because if you look in the rear shot, Cedric's glutes are in and he is peeled. Look at the upper body. He is peeled. I just think he has issues contracting that glute, which is why we're not seeing that in this position. But again, Juan absolutely peeled. Second place, very well deserving of that position. Let's quickly run through the judges' scorecards. Again, Cedric McMillan, easy first place. Juan Diesel Morel, second place, very justified. Regan Grimes in third. Overall, I mean, it's a decent display of Regan. However, I believe he was a little exposed in this show. Standing next to someone like Juan, he's not too big. He's a little undersized. And if Regan doesn't bring in the shredded conditioning, his waist is obviously a little thicker, which is what we just saw. And he's not that outstanding kind of, young buck up and coming star that we're expected to see. So he does have to increase that conditioning a little bit to really get that wow factor. And Max Charles, relatively good showing for him. He's always had trouble with conditioning, but it wasn't too bad. I mean, was it pro show conditioning? No. Is he going to place top 20 in the Olympia? No, probably not. However, not too shabby for the competition that was here today. So again, that's my review of the 2019 Romania Musclefest Pro. Please smash that like button. Please subscribe. Throw some comments in the comment section below. And that is Hybrid Physiques out.